can you tell us a little bit about, first tell everyone who you are, and then tell us about, your journey from Fast to Telly. I mean, you were pioneer of what Alan Welk from TV Rev branded Fasts, and are now, do you have an acronym for a free ad-supported TV? Fast fee?
I mean, I think we could do better than that.
Okay, you might want to get your branding people on that. I'm sorry.
Cool. So, hi everyone. I'm Ilya. I'm the founder and CEO of Telly. By way of background, the last company I did was called Pluto TV that we started, co-founded in 2013. We launched in 2014, and then got an offer from Viacom to sell the company in 2019. And we knew we wanted a great partner to help us, continue with the growth that we had. So we made the deal, and today, even though everyone thought we were completely crazy, by the way, we're launching a free, ad-supported streaming service in a world that seemed like they were going on-demand subscription. We knew the data was there. We knew consumers wanted it. We launched, and then now, if you look at it today, everybody's got an ad-supported streaming service, right? So. And then thanks to our now partnership with Viacom, Pluto's continued to grow. We've got 80 million plus users, over $1 billion in revenue a couple of years in a row. So the free thing actually worked. I took a little time off. I thought I was going to become an investor. I realized that I've been building companies for 26 years and I have no idea how to invest. So that didn't work out. Took some time off, got pretty bored, started tinkering on some new stuff, and the idea for Telly really hit because at Pluto, we built our app for every TV manufacturer out there. We did deals with all of them. Samsung was one of our investors, and we saw how challenging it was because TVs were drastically underpowered. It was very hard to build for them. They call themselves smart, but they're not really that smart. They're just kind of big screens, the biggest screen in your home. But I'd like to say they're the dumbest screen in your home, right? It's very low powered, and we noticed that TVs have really hit this commodity state where the difference between one television and the other became so marginal, right? Consumers walk into a store like Costco or Best Buy, they see what's on sale, and that's what they buy. There's very little brand loyalty.
And they're not going to market the speeds and feeds and say like, well, this one you should pay more for because it has 6 extra gig of RAM and a faster processor. It's not how TVs are sold.
That's right. Well, they're still positioned as hardware companies, but there's very little differentiation in the hardware, right? So naturally, TV companies started partnering with companies like Pluto and started getting into a different revenue stream because when there's no money to make on hardware, you look for other revenue streams, advertising being the natural one, right? So at Pluto, we proved that we can run a very sustainable model without charging a subscription fee on just advertising alone, right? It worked well because when you're paying for cable, right, you're paying for a monthly service fee for cable, but you're also generating hundreds of dollars of advertising every single month in just your eyeballs alone, right? So advertising is an amazing revenue stream, and if you look at any consumer data, they're very happy with ads lowering the cost of products and very happy with ads when they're relevant, right? So that's where the idea for Telly was born. We wanted to build a television that's completely ad-supported, right? And because we're not concerned about our BOM cost, about making margins on hardware, I mean, frankly, there's no margins to make on the hardware, we said, you know what, why not make the smartest TV by far on the planet that goes beyond smart, right? And becomes so much more than your television. But let's also disrupt the whole business model and let's give the product away completely free. It's going to allow us to take the market much, much quicker and let the revenue come from just advertising, similar to Pluto.
Yeah, and I mean, when you say free, it's free in hard dollars to the consumer in exchange for watching ads and data. And one of the things I like about it as someone who's actually, despite my hanging around the world of TV data, believe pretty strongly in privacy is you're making a very clear value proposition and a very cards on the table value proposition to your users about, you're agreeing to do these things and that's giving you this, not just a random TV, a really nice TV that has all these other custom capabilities. And, I love it because it's honest and it's relatively transparent, extremely transparent compared to a world where, most people have no idea that anyone knows what is happening on their TV. So can you talk a little bit about the device itself? Like, how did you get to? I mean, I love it from sitting in here and watching it. I was really worried that I would find the bar. What do you call the strip?
Smart screen.
The smart screen.
So the top is your theater display. The bottom is your smart screen.
Okay, I thought I would find the smart screen distracting, and I don't at all. And you talked about how it's like other devices that have ended up in the home, and that is absolutely right. How'd you get there?
That's a great question. I mean, so in order to build like the smartest TV out there, you can't like TVs naturally with a single screen are very one-dimensional, right? The only thing they can show is the content that you're watching, and overlaying that content is not also breaks copyright laws, but also is not a good experience for the consumer, right? But if you look at consumers today in 23, we're all sitting with our phones out. One just went off right there, right? And everyone's already distracted, right? When we're watching TV, right, we're looking at our phones. That's a big distraction. When we were able to, but we want that extra content, right? We're browsing Netflix, we're looking at our phone, we want to see what the Rotten Tomatoes are, before we, give 2.5 hours to a movie. We want to make sure it's good, right? Look, we're watching
Prime, Zoom.
Exactly, we're watching, a sports game, and we're checking out sports scores around the country. We're seeing maybe we're placing a bet on DraftKings, right? But we're taking out our phones. That's a distraction. By being able to build this dual screen TV with a second screen dedicated to enhancing your content viewing experience, we're able to put all that stuff that you would normally look for in a secondary device right there front and center, right? So if you're watching a movie, we show you actor information, right? We could do trivia, things like that. You're browsing Netflix, we could put up Rotten Tomatoes reviews as you're going tile by tile. All that's done in real time, right? Let's say a sports game comes on. We have a camera, so you could do Zoom calling, for example. You can call another Telly device or a phone or a computer, but you can also, what's cool is you can watch together, right? So for the first time ever, you can actually put the same program on the top screen, and your family and friends from across the country appear on the bottom. So imagine your fantasy sports scores, your family and friends video, your sports betting, all happens right there alongside the game, and that truly enhances your content viewing experience.
Yeah, without having to your point, either overlay or compress the part of the thing that you wanted to watch so you can see your family in the watch party.
That's right. And the analogy I always make, it's kind of like a car, right? Where the top screen is your windshield. You're paying attention to the road. But every car right now has obviously a dashboard where we have our speedometer, our radio, our nav. That's there to make our driving experience better. And that's exactly what we're doing. You're focused on the content. It's not a distraction. And this extra information, whether it's news or sports or a ticker, it's making it better.
Yep. That's a good analogy. I actually went for one of the screen dashboard cars, and it's great to be able to do that. It's not distracting. Right. All right. One quick last question. I think one of the complaints I've seen levied are that you will not have a desirable audience of advertisers who adopt your devices. And you gave me a couple of interesting stats about who's requested the initial deployment and what their demographics are. Is that something you can talk about?
Yeah, absolutely. So we launched a few weeks ago. We've been building it for about 2 years, completely kind of under the radar. We launched a few weeks ago, and the response even blew us away. We got over 250,000 signups.
I'm in there somewhere.
Yeah, we'll make sure we'll put you on the top of the list. But we got over 250,000 signups, right? And the type of people that signed up, everyone thought, okay, it's a free TV, so it's going to be low income people. Completely wrong, right? We over-index on higher income. We over-index not only in education, but also in education. We have an equal distribution across the United States. And then from an age perspective, they're 2/3 Gen Z and millennials, which is a perfect sweet spot because those are the tough audiences for advertisers to reach, right? They're either on TikTok or they're watching fast services, and let's face it, those are typically older, right? So, and then on the other end, on the advertising end, we're here at Cannes where we've gotten an amazing response from agencies, from brands, from data partners. We're tapped into programmatic channels, doing agency holdco deals across the board. Because what's interesting about having this dual screen approach is the bottom screen, if you actually look at it, it's almost like having a mobile tablet attached to your screen, right?
With dual screen measurement capability built into it, said the research guy who would love to help figure out what that all means.
And what's cool about that is, typically on a TV, the ad is a video, right? And it's a 15-second or a 30-second video in between content. There's no engagement on that. You don't take out your remote, you don't click and engage an ad that's stuck in between content. But when you're able to put an ad that's going alongside content and it's not disrupting your content experience and it's persistent, what's cool about it is you can actually go after performance dollars.
Right.
So we're actually pulling in a lot of mobile dollars as well,
Yep.
and performance dollars, which is a full market,
That's
over
really
$300 billion in ad inventory there, because our ads you're able to click.
Yeah,
and
it's not the
engage them.
QR code that's on the screen for 1
That's right.
second out of 30.
That's right. You see a Pizza Hut
Very
ad
cool.
during an NFL game at lunchtime. You're picking up the remote with one click. You're ordering a pepperoni pizza to your house, right? You see an ad for Honda. You can schedule a test drive, right? So we have full performance capabilities on our advertising that's completely unheard of in the living room space.
That's fantastic.